Hi, I'm really glad you joined me in this session today, where we are going to be exploring Redis beyond regular cache in a topic that says, yes, Redis can do that. But just before we get started, a little bit about myself. My name is Michael Olabi, and I'm a software engineer based in Lagos, Nigeria. I work mostly on the backend side of tech, and I write technical content from time to time, just in a bit to make the learning process easier for others. I love to travel, and I enjoy adventure. But the pandemic has made that slightly impossible for the time being, which is fine. We all hope that this phase is behind us very soon. So I currently work at a company called Split. Split is a prop tech company based in Lagos, Nigeria, with a simple mission of making living an easier fit for all Africans. If you'd like to know more about Split, you can check us out at split.africa. Now to the business of the day. So what exactly do I mean when I say, yes, Redis can do that? Redis can do what? So let me start from the very beginning, my introduction to Redis. It was about 2 years ago when I was working on a project with a couple of other guys. So we had challenges with some of our endpoints with terrible response time. So we were all tasked to come up with a solution to fix that problem. And somebody suggested that we implement caching on those endpoints on Redis. So that's like the first time I was going to be working with Redis in a project. So after we implemented caching on Redis in that project, the result was really profound. The response time improved dramatically. So I was fascinated. What kind of technology is this? So I tried to explore more, and then I found out that operations of Redis happens in the memory, which makes sense because memory is a slightly faster storage than the disk. So it's a really suitable technology to be used for caching in projects. But now what is more interesting is, after that first encounter, every other of my experience with Redis was always with some form of caching or another. So it was pretty easier for me to believe that Redis is only meant for caching, right? And this was like a popular opinion and belief around me because everyone I knew that were using Redis as a form of cache or another in their project, right? It wasn't until very recently when I stumbled upon this definition on the redis.io website. To be honest, I was shocked to see Redis being described as a database. Come on, how does that even make any sense? Redis operations happen in the memory. How can you call it a database? Memory is highly volatile. So, this got me curious, and then I tried to explore more. And what I found out is Redis actually implements some form of persistence on the disk, even though the core operation happens in the memory, right? And that is exactly what I want to show us today in this session. So please follow along, right? So as someone who uses URL shorteners a lot, right? Especially when I'm sharing my content across the social media, I found out that this is like a really good project sample to showcase Redis beyond caching. So let's explore the components of a URL shortener. So first, you want to be able to take a really long URL, put it in the URL shortener and shorten it so that a more shortened link is generated, with the hope that if you come back in maybe an hour later, a week, a month, or 6 months later, and visit the shortened link, you want to be redirected back to the original link that was shortened. That means you have to implement some form of persistence in the project. So this is really good to showcase Redis in that light. And that is exactly what I did. And some of the challenges I found with the existing URL shorteners I used is that, So some of the challenges I discovered was that some URL shorteners are really slow, especially during the redirect process, right? And it's not because these solutions were profoundly bad. No, they weren't bad. Some of the reasons has to do with the choice of database used in the application. We all know that traditional SQL-based database operations happen in the disk. And disk is a slow storage, right? So this is some of the things that impact on the performance of the existing URL shorteners I use, right? And I want to like do something better while showcasing Redis as much more than a cache database. So that is exactly what I built out. I built out a URL shortener with Redis as the only database system, right? So let's just showcase what we have. So I built this URL shortener with Redis being the only database. And then when I take the URL and take it to the URL shortener, I generate a shortened link. And then when I visit it, look at the redirect process. You can see that it is really fast, faster than the regular SQL-based system. So some of the things I noticed in this solution is that there's high availability of data because Redis, like even though when persistence was implemented, the data was taken from the disk after persisting and put in the memory so that when you are accessing the shortened link, it's taking it from the memory and then redirecting. So all operations happen in the memory. So there's high availability of data. And then there's like a faster response time as compared to this same solution built out on a traditional SQL-based database system, right? And so Redis implement Redis using two options. One is the AOF, which means append only file, and the other is RDB, Redis database. So you can use either of these options or both. But in this project, I used both options, and the reason is because the AOF option, persistence option, guarantee high persistence is really durable, right? But then it also generates a bulky file, like is more bigger, larger in size than the RDB option. The RDB option in the other case is really compact and really good for backup purposes. So that is why I use the two options in this project. Actually, this is the recommended option from the Redis organization, right? You should, if you want like a really good persistence option that works, use both the AOF and RDB, and you get like the most super persistence you can ever ask for in a database. So these are like the two options I used for persistence. You can read more about persistence on the redis.io website. It is really good. So we can see that Redis can actually be used as a full database and not just for caching in our project. We actually miss out a lot when we limit Redis to just a caching system. Like we miss out on a whole lot. Even though this application is like really good, it's fast, it's persisted, but Redis also provides us with something much more better, right? So there's something called Redis Search. So Redis Search is a Redis module that is used to build like a search engine. Is really fast. Now, Redis Search, so like the other way to take this project to the next level is to use Redis Search to build up like a secondary index, which will improve the query performance. So if you think this application you've seen was fast, trust me, when I introduce Redis Search today, it will be super fast, right? So that's like the next thing I'm doing on this application. So you can always take the application out on GitHub. Maybe you can implement your own Redis search on it. The link will be shared after the session. So these are some of the key takeaways from this session. One thing that is, if you don't live with any other thing, just know that Redis is much more than a cache. It can be used as a full-fledged database system, right? And then you gain the advantage of persistence and fast response time than you can ever get in any traditional database system, right? And using Redis as primary database improves the performance of your application, whether you like it or not. So I want you to like try it out today and take your application to the next level, right? So there was this website I saw on the Redis Labs. No, the page. There was this page I saw on the Redis Labs website that said rediscover Redis. So that page showcased Redis in like different lights, right? And then I was fascinated by the all kind of things you could build on top of Redis. Like so I want, if you have the time, just like check redislabs.com/rediscover Redis, right? You will see a lot of things. Apparently, so for example, the Redis search module that I say I want to introduce to the project some 6-7 years ago was not available in Redis, but it is available today. So we need to constantly rediscover Redis, right? So that's like my message to you here. So these are more resources you can use to like know more about this topic we just discussed about. So there's link to the Persistence website, and then this is the GitHub link to my project. You can also check it out on GitHub. Try to implement your own version, add Redis module, Redis search to it, so that you can improve the performance of the application greatly. And so there is one of these links that is really, really good. The Redis University website, they have some kind of courses that are rich. If you are trying to like take your Redis knowledge to the next level, please check out that website. So thank you so much. If you have any questions, I would like to take them now. Thank you.